Hi there, in this short how-to video we're going to take a look at another one of the requirements for your school website. If you scroll down to section 8 of the school website requirements guide, you'll see that the requirement is for pupil premium funding. You'll see that it's split into two sections, current academic year and previous academic year. This is one of the longer sections in the school website requirements guide, and it's an area that we see a lot of schools struggling with. So hopefully this video will help you to know how to publish your information online. Now, like I say, it's split into two sections, current academic year and previous academic year. So we suggest each year that you should be uploading two documents. The first one should be addressing the first 5 points of the school website requirements guide, and then the second one should be taking care of the second two. So you're coming up with your strategy and your plans for your funding for this year in one document, and then in the other document you're talking about how you did spend your pupil premium funding last year and what impact that had. Now, one of the most common areas where we see schools really struggle with this is just not making the information clear enough. So when we're reading through the information, it's not really clear what they're talking about, whether it's this year, last year, or even a year before then. So just make sure it's crystal clear, whether you choose to upload two documents or one, just make sure it's really obvious which academic year you are talking about. And then the second point where schools really struggle is just these two sections in the middle here. So addressing their main barriers and how they use their funding to respond to those barriers. Now, a lot of schools are very good at providing information of how they spent the funding, but not why they spent the funding in that way and what barriers the school are facing. And obviously that will be unique to every school setting. Now, I have found some websites that hopefully will help us, and they just are maybe ideas for how you could display your pupil premium funding. The first one is a school called Oxford Gardens, and they have two tabs for their pupil premium funding in their menu on the left-hand side. Now, I think this is really good because it explains pupil premium to people. So I think sometimes on school websites there's an assumption that your school community knows what pupil premium funding is, which might not necessarily always be the case. So you can see here that they've taken a bit of time and a bit of space on their website just to explain what pupil premium funding is, highlighting the barriers that their school face, and how the pupil premium funding is spent to address those barriers. Now, that's great because it explains it to your school audience, but it also shows that you're aware of the requirements and you're giving them a prominent place on your school website. In their second tab, you can see here that they've got their statements and reports, expenditure and impact, that's what they've called it. So I can expand this here, and it's got an in-depth breakdown of their pupil premium spending. So you can see here that all of the information that is required is displayed nicely and neatly in this table. Now, there are a lot of templates available online to help you to display your information well and in a compliant way. So we do see this format often, and it does seem to be a popular one amongst schools. The second site that I found is just another one, which is a local high school, and on their pupil premium page they've got a short introduction here by the person who is responsible for pupil premium at school, and it just invites people who have any questions to send the email to a specific email address, which again I think is a really nice touch, and it goes above and beyond the requirements, but it's just short, and I just think that's a nice thing to do. So you can see here that they've uploaded two documents. One's shorter than the other. So this one here is a letter to parents and carers about the school pupil premium spending. So it just provides the information that they might be interested in, and some results here to support what they're saying about the impact of the pupil premium spending, which I think is important as well, just to really back up what you're saying with the facts. And the second document they've uploaded is their strategy and their proposed spending for this year. So again, it's another really similar format. And what I like about this one is that if we sort of go through the document, you can see that it's annotated. So we've got different highlights going on and things like that. And those highlights are explaining a little bit more than they perhaps need to. But I feel if you can answer as many questions as you can in your information that you upload to the site, then hopefully you'll save a lot of confusion that people might have, and it should hopefully avoid you having to answer any questions about your Pupil Premium funding, because it's all detailed in the report. So they've really took the time to put as much information as possible into this Pupil Premium report, and it's really good, and it just sort of covers all the bases, which is great. The next example that I have here is Penwitham Priory. And on their Pupil Premium information page, they've got quite a long introduction here, just again explaining what Pupil Premium is to people who might not know. And underneath, they've got their 2 documents, which is what we recommend you do. So they've got their impact from last year, just detailed here. So that's all what they did with their funding and what impact that had on their school. And then their strategy for this year is here. So again, that's great. What I like about this page is I think it's really nice and neat, and it's got all the information that we need to have. So I mentioned before that you have to have information for this academic year and last academic year. Now, what we do find when we go on people's Pupil Premium pages is that sometimes they've got years and years and years and years worth of content on there. Now, that's not necessary, and it also might confuse people who are visiting your website, and it makes it look a bit cluttered. So we would suggest just really keeping on top of that page. Just publish the information that you need to stay compliant, and don't sort of over clutter it or keep information there for sort of 5 or 6 years when it's not needed. And the final example I have here is from Nursery, and I really like that they've got a photo on their Pupil Premium page to support what they're saying in their content. So if I scroll through their content, you can see they've got it displayed on the page rather than in a document, but they talk about how they use the funding to provide the children with real experiences. So I do just like this photo here, supporting what they're saying and just bringing life to the content a bit. It can be quite a dull page, a Pupil Premium page, because obviously it's just about money and how that was spent and what impact it had. But to put some photos on that page, I think is really nice and helps to bring it to life a little bit more. So make sure that you're aware of the requirements for your school website with regards to Pupil Premium funding, and just make sure that when you're writing your content, you include each of these points here and make sure that it's well explained and clear for your audience. If you have any questions regarding your Pupil Premium information, or if there's anything that you want to run by us, then you can just drop us an email. My email address is china@scudio.com, or you can contact hi@scudio.com for more help.